Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's New York Chrissy, aka Chrissy the Hippie, aka Essentially, aka too many AKAs. Anyway,
Whoa, don't talk. I'm making the video.
hey guys, welcome back and thanks for watching this video. I'm going to be commenting, or should I say critiquing, on the Netflix limited series Behind Her Eyes. Here you can see I'm prepping my face with chow. Whew, I tried my very hardest to make this a makeup and get ready with me feel, but like I think I needed a little bit more practice, y'all. So rather than bore y'all to death with my attempt, I just said fuck it. They just gonna get whatever I could do right now. But nah. I will still be leaving the names of the products I show in the video in the box below. Also, please stay tuned to the end for a little sincere surprise for me to y'all watching and subscribing at home. This series on Netflix called Behind Her Eyes. Oh, child. Just even watching the movie and the series play out, it's a lot. Now, folks, please do not go any further in this video if you are not a fan of spoilers, teasers, commentary. Don't. If you have not watched and finished Behind Her Eyes, please do not watch any further. This is it. This is the spoiler alert. Cut it off. Love you for watching this far, boo, but you gotta go because I'm about to go into a little details. Okay? Please, sis, why are you moving like this? Like, why are you moving like this, sis? Why? There's no need for you to be moving the way that you're moving in this series, and like, I'm very disappointed. I don't care that you're a fictional character. Sis, why? Like, who wrote this? You can tell that it was written by someone of the paler persuasion that doesn't really think with us in mind when they even have us in mind. There's too many subliminally colorist perspectives. I just feel like it was a lot. I think this is the best I'm gonna get them tonight. Like, some days I got some good days with these lashes, and some days I don't. Anyway, back to the motherfucking story at hand. Behind Her Eyes, these damn eyes is annoying right now. But Behind Her Eyes on Netflix had me really annoyed. Like, Louise was annoying. I have no clue where her mind was ever throughout the whole damn plot. Like, I was very, very, as a writer, like, I was trying to figure out what exactly her motivation was, and what the actual attraction, like the bedrock of the attraction was coming from, because David ain't all that. That nigga. Basic. Very basic. He wasn't unattractive. It's just that, like, he's not my cup of tea. And even if he was, he would still be on the basic side. He was not worth doing all of that over. Can we get back to, like, Louis' son? Her son was cute. Her son was cute as fuck, but, like, why was there a backstory of, like, you know, the dad having a new girlfriend and her being pregnant and him going to France to be with them, if there wasn't going to be any formal expounding on the father and Louise's relationship? Like, outside of their exchanges of picking up the son, I don't really think they should have included all of the backstory. I guess they had to give Louise more color. But like, that kind of really shows you how poor the writing really is in general. Because in order for you to have, I can't talk shit. Maybe the screenplay sucked. Because clearly if the book sold out enough for you guys to be able to have it in a screenplay form, it means that it was amazing. Right? This shit was good. Like, as far as it being, like, surprising and riveting and something that, like, you know, you're like, wow, what the fuck? But, you know, the writing still left me wanting more. I'm going to get back to why. First, David is a sucky-ass psychiatrist. Like, who is going to a psychiatrist that not only has to take his wife with him in order to have interviews and first days at work, but has to, you know, randomly like be medicating his wife? Like, that's the most I feel like he was ever doing as a psychiatrist. Like, that's the fullest extent. Like, he applied none of his skill set and none of his professional experience in his life outside of medicating his wife. Like, it was extremely off-putting. And I really like that was, I guess, Adele's character development. Adele's character development, because you get to see, like, okay, you know, he's medicating her. Why is he medicating her? What happened? Like, you know, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. David, you just suck as a psychiatrist, and you were on the way out at your job, whether Louise or Adele had anything to do with it, because awkward. Anyway, so yeah, that mental patient that David is seeing, like, what is his purpose, bro? Like, he truly plays like no real role in the story outside of like providing jump scares and anxiety. He is like outside of attempting to get David in trouble because, you know, at Adele's prompting, like, he appears maybe 3-4 times in this like series, and there's real no character development. You never really figure out why he was tracking and following Louise and David. It just seemed like a plot that went nowhere, and I don't know if maybe they expounded on that maybe a little more in the book. But as far as the story that was given to us, it seemed kind of useless. Outside of, like I said, jump scares, like, and provided extra anxiety, because he seemed extra psychotic, bro. Like, he needed extra help. Why is Louise such a horrible friend? Like, she's horrible. She's a horrible friend. She low-key is a horrible neighbor too. Like, she takes from everybody around her, if you haven't noticed. She wasn't a person who was really pouring into anyone else other than her son. Not even into so much herself. Like, she had to be prompted to do something about her own, like, insomnia and night terrors. Like, girl, you ain't tired? Why Adele had to come around and tell you gotta to learn to do something with that shit? That was weird. That was very weird. Like I said before, David ain't all that. So, like, I'm confused as to why Rob was so enamored with his ass as soon as he met him, because if I was not mistaken, he was completely against David. I low-key thought he was plotting against him. Like, he was going to try to, like, I thought that the situation was going to end with, like, Rob being a victim and David just being extremely upset because he was seeing how Rob was, I guess, trying to do better for Adele than he would. But I really like that that's how it was fed to you by the, like, you know, storytelling. But I don't understand how all of a sudden, like, you know, you can see how Rob grows enamored with Adele. But honestly, I initially thought that he was there casing Adele, like, especially after you learn everything at the end. He was casing her. Like, he heard about her parents dying in the fire. He knew that they had bread. He said, all right, I'm in this joint. Let me align myself with her. Because if I'm friends with her, I at least can, like, get networking that I couldn't get. So I don't know if he was trying to, like, the long haul, try to really get her out her money. But at very least, I definitely think he was trying to be an opportunist when he met her. And he really just genuinely, like, okay, I like Adele. She's cool. Whatever. She had a genuine spirit. And then she teaches him the thing that's the linchpin. Damn it, child. Like, Jesus. Why she had to teach him that shit? Why? Why, Jesus? Like, keep things like that on the low, low, low. Like, Rob was a different level of sadistic in that he really displays zero remorse repeatedly. Like, he didn't have any remorse for his own body. Like, how do you look at yourself, excuse me, especially when you initially did it with Adele, with the body switch, right? How do you look at yourself dying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you are in Adele's body now, but you were the beginning essence in that body, right? So I don't know how he didn't have any real pause then. Like, he must have really had plotted that out as soon as he got there. And I don't know so much if he had plotted it out prior to or during his meeting with David, because honestly, he could have done this either way. That's why I'm kind of scared at the actual implications that this could have really went. It could have went so many different ways because of the soul removal aspect. Because at any point, I mean, they were implying that, during the sleep terrors that their souls was like outside of their bodies. So I'm trying to understand, even if it wasn't a situation where, like, back to Louise, why the hell did the child run into a burning house? Well, attempt to run into a burning house after just trying to drop off her son to keep him safe. Like, did your whole thinking about your child and what is going to happen to him in your absence completely leave her mind in that moment? Like, adrenaline ain't going to ever make me forget a child that I birthed. Like, that's just me, though. The child was bugging. Louise was just so tripped out. I personally would never have abandoned my child to even be hankering around town with somebody who's married. But that's my moral system. If I was going to do that foolishness and get as far as Louise did into the situation, why the hell you going to answer the phone when Shorty call you? After you done came in your house screaming for her, confirming that she was spying on your ass this whole damn time. So if you don't even know what the further, like, craziness could possibly ensue, why would you welcome that by basically, like, like, antagonizing her? Like, girl, that's why we told, and David is on the way now to snitch on you even further with the cops. Like, you don't think she's gonna have some form of, like, reaction to that? You think that was just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna do that, and now they caught me, my bad, I'm caught, even though I've been evading the law for years? Like, that's dumb. That's extremely dumb. Louise just was not thinking at all. I was very happy that she had gotten her child out the house, because I'm like, oh yeah, she thinking, bad. She's trying to make sure the baby cool. The baby ain't in none of this. And it's upsetting to me that at the end, he ends up really suffering the most out of this ordeal. Like, the larger implications, and when you're a writer and you write stories like these and you tell these types of stories, it's so much more, how could I say, visceral. You know what I'm saying? When it's children involved. Like, it always heightens the level of anxiety because that's the innocent. You know what I'm saying? You want the innocent to stay innocent as long as possible. But the fact that now that this poor child is going to have to be raised by, I don't even know, Rob mommy? Who knows? Because and clearly Rob is not giving a fuck about the child. Like, in the last scene, he was basically had to be reminded that they had a child. Like, What? And first of all, why would you, if you don't even want to have anything to do with the child, why wouldn't you leave the child with their clearly more capable parent? You know, he has a dad that loves him and wants him. So you could have just left him with his father. Why would you force yourself upon a child that you clearly are not feeling like that? It's really, either way, it's going to be a fucked up situation. But it was just extremely upsetting to see it happen the way that it did. When Louise took it a step further to get all super upset and, you know, tried to save Adele when she was dying, what did she think she was going to do? She thought that that blip inside was going to do what? She was going to see where Adele was dying in the fire. She wanted to physically see it. I just don't understand. You had already called the cops. You had already called, 999. So what was the purpose of you blipping? What was that going to do as far as aiding Adele and staying alive? You're not in your body. You can't physically touch the child. I mean, and if she was dead and passed out inside, you would have basically been doing the equivalent of what Rob did to you, which is really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, why did you go in the body? You didn't have to go in the body. You could have just floated around like how Rob was floating around in whatever. The same way you used to float around and be spying on certain things to figure this whole situation out. This was just a very poor judgment having ass woman. Like, she just never had her best interest at heart. And I think that's at the core of what this whole thing is about. Like, she sucked as a friend. She sucked. I can't say she sucked as a mom because she was pretty okay as a mom. She sucked as an employee. Child was stealing from work. She sucked as she was fucking her boss. Then she sucked even, like, how do you not like yourself enough to want to keep your job? You have a child. Girl, get your life. And aside from all of these things that she had going on, David ain't all that. David was barely able to keep a job, if you haven't noticed. That dude was on Warner Network because of the foolishness Adele had been putting him through, yes, but what was he doing? I guess, like, they weren't really showing much of him actually being a professional. Everything that I feel like they displayed of David was someone who was not only reactionary, which is somebody completely opposite of a fucking psychiatrist, because they love to overthink everything. That's their job. But, like, it just didn't seem like they really did any formal research on what a psychiatrist actually does for writing the screenplay or book. Because I'm not sure if the book was as annoying as it was, as far as, like, consistency with who this role was. Like, David all of a sudden is an evil, mean guy who was previously awesome enough to have charmed Rob on the one day he met him. Life changes you, but Jesus. And honestly, he wasn't displaying any of that real charm when he was talking to Louise, because he stumbled every time he talked to Louise. And I don't know if that was what was turning her on to him, because she was the one who was seeming like the one who had more of the things together. And she's clearly not someone who got shit together. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why I came to a head with her friend, because her friend was highlighting how much she's just been always making poor decisions. Louise always made poor ass decisions. And she honestly, when she made another poor ass decision by forcing her friend out of the house, I think, it was a kind of way to, like, personify the, contention and a lack of paying attention to her conscience that Louise had been doing. Like, she had people around her who was telling her that this wasn't cool. Why are you moving like this? Why would you even be chasing a married man around town and going through all of this bullshit? But, like, why would you even think that you could befriend the wife and then sleep with the husband and then not any of that ever have an overlap? Like, it was extremely irrational, and she came across as a really ditzy individual, but then she was capable enough to be an assistant. I don't know, child. None of this ain't making no real sense. I just want to say this. I like the story for what it was, because it definitely had enough about it for me to clearly want to make a video about it. So it was alright. But I think going forward, in general, Hollywood as the like conglomerate needs to get better at stories and stop regurgitating stories too. Like the spiels that we are used to always having happen. I mean, this was untypical, so I'm very much so happy that this was an atypical plot, only because of the remote viewing aspect. You know what I'm saying? But, child, Louise, girl. Oh, and let's get back to how anti-black this low-key was. Because why did the black people in here be so stupid? Like, why was the father? Because I'm assuming that her baby daddy was black. If you notice your son not really even receptive to your child when she's coming to pick him up, and then you see she's different, and then you see her also pushing your child down the block at the end, I'd be like, oh no, bring him back in here. He can stay here because I don't know what you're going through, but you need to handle that before you bring that on my child. Everybody in every black person in this thing stupid? Why? And then they paint him as like the baby daddy as this horrible person who just abandoned her and then doesn't know what he wants and finally settled on the latest girl. Like I said, they didn't give you any like details or backstory outside of just like villainizing him. You know what I'm saying? And he clearly was not even the villain. He was nowhere near a horrible person. He was actually really, really considerate and empathetic. Awkward. Louise, the one time, like I said, the anti-blackness. Why we only saw, first of all, that wig. That wig, why ain't having a part in it, honey? Why y'all, Netflix, all the damn time, stay fucking up the hair? Like, y'all will have a good style, but not know how to do the little this is how you guys show that you have yet to hire black representation as far as hair and makeup is concerned. Because y'all be getting some awesome ass cast. Y'all clearly got black folk on the casting block. Because the casting be amazing. This woman is amazing. I love her acting in this. The woman who played Louise. She's gorgeous. The child was gorgeous. But why do you cast these women and these people and then not costume them correctly? It's just awkward. It just makes the story a lot less believable, especially if this plot, is already all over the place. Child only had on a scarf one time. Child, she'd have walked in her house, bonnet on. Bonnets on top. Like, she ain't had no chill in the house hairstyles like this. No? That's one. And then two, like, I'm not very comfortable with the fact that the only black woman in here was just stupid. And black women are actually anti-stupid. I'm not even going to mention how much black girl magic is the essence of why this country is still able to do what it does. But, that's another video. I am just going to say, I know whoever did this screenplay, you ain't black, boo, and you ain't low. You ain't low. You were not horrible, but you ain't low. And I don't appreciate how you did my girl. Because Louise was out here crazy. And look at her. She gone. The child gone. She gone. Her spirit, where her spirit at? She don't know. Hot mess. But like I said, outside of those little bits of like critiques, which was a lot of bits, it was good. You know what I mean? If you stuck around to pay attention to my little gripes, my little annoyances with this shit, appreciate you. And I hope you recognize now that I am a cusser. I be cussing. This ain't for cheering. But I love you guys. And like I said, at the end of this video, I'm going to include a little something, a little thank you to you guys. Because I appreciate every single one of you. I don't have many of you, but the ones who I have, I appreciate you. And the ones who will come. I love you already in advance. I don't know if this part of the video just does not want to get recorded or what. but it's been playing me, and I'm just determined to give you guys the thanks that you deserve. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. You guys don't have to be here with me, but you are, and I love you for it. I wanted to do a little something just to show some thanks, because I don't even have 50 subscribers yet, but the ones that I have, I love you. Appreciate y'all. So first I'm going to shout out my honey, Roger. You know, Jaleesa, Janine, Malika, all of you guys who are always on my stuff and making sure that I'm just still feeling motivated, inspired to keep this going. Love y'all. I'm gonna just shout out some recent subscribers: Erica D, Angela Lawson, Austin Smith, K Steph, Sexy Desire, M McBride, KJ, Javon Thompson, ZimBX. It's a few more, but I just wanted to make sure that I got this in. I have literally said these names a few times before, and my phone has been cutting out. I love y'all, so I want you guys to know that I love you too. And just thank you. You didn't have to be here, but you're here. I hope I keep you guys satisfied with my content, because this is not easy. Anyway, I just want to make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Remember to follow me on the subsequent pages that I have listed in my box. And if you have any more commentary for me about Behind Her Eyes, I said a lot, but you never know. Don't feel free to comment me. I love exchange, so we could talk back and forth. Let me know what you think.